Welcome back to my game dev series, where I'm currently creating an offline demo for a future MMO. We're continuing where we left off with tool parts and tool stats. We're starting off this episode with our UI. This is going to be about choosing the parts for our tool. So I've started off with a couple of mockups, and we've landed on this one. So instead of just sprites, I'm going to add the buttons now. I've just had to do a bit of refactoring for storing our tool parts. So before I had a 2D array for the tool and then the tool type. That was a bit redundant, so now we only have tool parts. So let me show you what I've done so far. We can now click on our pedestal and it will open up our UI, and it will automatically detect how many parts we have, and we can change our tool parts with the arrows. Looking at these menus, I think that the stat icons take up too much space. So what I've done is I've gone from 10 by 10 to 8 by 8, and I'll see how that looks. I think this looks so much better, and there's a clear hierarchy to what's important. So our main skills and then our tool stats. So this is the final version of our tool selector, and I'm happy with it. Since this is a demo, I'm trying to have at least one instance of each feature that I want. We have an example of the pickaxe strength affecting which nodes we can mine, and now I want it to affect the environment. So I want certain obstacles to have kind of a stat check. So at a certain tool level, you can unlock a new area. So that's what we're going to work on now. We're going to revisit something that we made in the first episode, and that is the connector. So for our next feature, we're going to need a new room. So anytime that you're inside of this range, an arrow will appear, and we can just click on that to go to our new room. There's quite a few improvements that we can make to this, so I'm going to get started. I've just created some sprites for the arrows. It's now in the game, and I think it looks a bit better. The next thing I want to fix is when we click on the arrow, it starts moving towards whatever I just clicked. Okay, that was a pretty easy fix. I just had to add it to our UI system. I've just changed the active zone from a circle to a square, and now it's positioned correctly. We now have a blank room, and this is the size of one screen, so that's 320 by 180. I've just made a tiny sketch of what I want. This is going to be the base of a mountain that has a cave entrance with a giant boulder in the middle. So let me get to work on the visuals. We're just at the starting stage, and I'm trying to map out the sizes that I want. So this circle will be the boulder, this line will be where the grass stops, and then this will be the top of the cave entrance. Just created some initial shapes, and now I want to sort out what colors we're going to actually use. This is just the first image that I've searched up, and I like how the cave is built from kind of blocks of rock. I'm going to use the same rock shading as this one and kind of build around the entrance. Alright, update. I've just shaded some boxes. I'm not sure if the shading makes any sense, but if you take the boulder away, I don't think it looks that bad. I think I just have to transition it into the mountainside a bit better. So let me keep going. Alright, I've shaded a boulder and darkened some of the stones, but I'm kind of struggling with the background. It's quite a lot of space, and I'm not really sure how to texture it properly. So I'm just going to leave it blank, and we'll get this into the game. We're in the game, and we've added our visuals into the room. We've also added some collision and some grass as well, and we have our boulder as a node. Now in terms of gameplay, the boulder will serve as an objective, so the player will discover this naturally and see that they can mine it. But we need a lot of pickaxe strength to break it. So we now have a goal to work towards, and we can plan for which parts we would need to reach that level. I'm still not sure if I want to lock an area behind this or have this more of a shortcut. I can decide later when I start to design the world. That's going to be all for this episode. In the description, there's a playtest website that doesn't need a download, and also my Discord where I provide smaller and more frequent updates. Thank you so much for watching.